What's going on, diehards, degenerates, and gamblers? Welcome to the UFC 285 Sharp Action Report. You are logging in right here at Pub Sports Radio, and this show, as with all of our shows, but this one very specifically, is brought to you by Superbook Sports. I am joined by my guy Andrew from across the counter. He's going to let us know where the sharp and or notable action is on this card. Andrew, my guy, how you doing today?
I'm all right, man. I'm excited to talk about some of these fights. I mean, feels like this is probably the biggest card of the year so far, and I mean, there's some great fights on this card.
Yeah, no kidding. This card is just absolutely stacked from top to bottom. I mean, the lower end of it is all very interesting prospects, guys with a lot of hype. The upper end of it, we got two titles on the line, meaningful titles, and then some potential future title eliminators mixed in the middle. Like this is a great card, man.
Yes, sir. I can't wait. I mean, there's a lot of chalky fights on this card. We're definitely going to need a dog somewhere on the card, so I'm excited to talk about the spots there might be some sharp action on, and yeah, we'll get into it, man.
I'm looking forward to it, man. You know, that's always the game. Avoid that parlay buster. Everybody, thank you for joining us on the show today. Do us a favor, give Andrew a follow if you haven't already, and do the same with the Superbook socials. We'd appreciate it. Hammer the like button here for us. We're going to give you some free info from across the counter. First fight of the night, we've got Loik Radzhabov taking on Esteban Ribovics. And this is a bit of a wild fight here on short notice, man. Loik is filling in. We've seen him over in the PFL before. Esteban is coming to us from the Dana White's Contender Series. Big-time clash of styles. One guy's a power puncher. The other seems to be more of a grindy wrestler. Have you seen anything notable on this first fight of the night?
Yeah, so we opened this one up at 240 on Loik, and the price was climbing up to 280, and then we finally got a little bit of resistance with Ribovics. We took a sharp bet on him, not for too much, but it was notable, and it kind of dropped the price back down to close to where we opened. We're sitting 250 now, so there's been a little bit of movement on this fight. Not I wouldn't say there's been too much action on it, but that was one notable bet that we saw come through so far.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good to know. I personally lean a little bit here with the favorite just because of the strength of schedule, but it's hard to lay minus 250 on a short notice guy. I did that with my guy Charles Johnson last week at just minus 165, and that didn't quite work out. So
I thought he won.
I thought he did too, man. I thought he did enough damage to get the dub.
But yeah, it was a close fight. You can't be too upset about that one. I mean,
yeah,
everyone sees it a little bit different.
It was back and forth. It was close. It was a split. I can't complain too much, but I've been burned recently, so I don't know if I want to do the short notice thing again. Next fight up, though, we've got Farid Basharat, the Bash Bros, coming to us from the Contender Series, taking on Damon Blackshear. It's his second UFC appearance. I've seen some people taking nibbles here on the dog, and I'd say I kind of get it. This is a pretty wide line for a couple of guys that are relatively unproven. But if Farid is anything like his brother, and I think he is, I kind of expect him to roll here in this spot. I'm curious if you've gotten any bites on this one.
Yeah, so we opened this one at minus 450 on Farid. It shot up to $5. It was inching up. And then this is a similar one to the last fight. We did get another sharp guy to take a value play, it seems like, on Blackshear at plus $4. So the price isn't there for the same value right now. But, I mean, he did take a shot on the dog, so there might be a possibility he gets his hand raised.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, I definitely think Blackshear is he's live for the sub. You know, that's kind of his best path to victory, is that he's a submission guy. So I would expect that's probably the way to go. You can get him by sub at 12-1, which I'm like, for me, that's the move. If you're going to play the submission guy, play him by submission at a much sexier number. But I don't know, man. That this whole card, we're gonna say it over and over again. There's just that threshold. You'll get sharp
Yeah,
guys that come in and take a number. I still think Farid's gonna win.
I think so too. But yeah, you never know when you're messing around with these $5 favorites. I mean,
It's
it's
true,
it's scary business.
especially in his UFC debut. Normally, the $5 mark is not there for the debut.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right, next up, ladies fight. Here we got Jessica Panay taking on Tabitha Ricci. And from what I've seen, it's been kind of one-sided line movement. Now, this one was booked a while ago. It got canceled. It's reopened. And Tabitha's like $1 more expensive the second time around.
Yeah.
What have you guys seen on this one? Did you have any major movement for it?
Yeah, so we opened this one 240. Um, we did take a sharp bet early, and that's kind of what moved this price. We're sitting $3 now, but last night we actually got a sharp bet the other way on
Okay.
Pena. So there's sharp plays on both sides. Not where the number's at right now, but yeah, I don't think you're going to get that same price on Richie anymore. And I don't know if I think Pena's got a shot, but I don't. I don't have any plays on this one, but yeah, there's sharp action on both sides of this fight.
Okay, so some good two-way there for you guys, it sounds like.
Yeah,
I'm definitely leaning with the favorite myself here in this spot, but dang, man, like we had her plus 160, plus 170 a month ago. It kind of bites to try to take her at minus 310.
right, right.
Tough to swallow that one. All right, next up, we've got Mana Martinez and Cameron Simon. Currently, Simon is a minus 270 favorite. Mana Martinez is plus 230. And I'm very curious to hear what you've got to say about this one. What have you guys seen on this fight?
Yeah, so we opened this one at 250. We're sitting at 280 here. We actually did take a big bet on the underdog in this fight. Um, it was a large wager. I'm not going to say it was the sharpest wager, but right now we definitely need the favorite. And we also had an individual bet pretty big on the over in this fight. So right
Interesting.
now the book is looking at needing the under. So yeah, that's where we're sitting currently.
Okay. Sounds like a plan, man. I'm one of those people who bit on this particular underdog. I think he's pretty live in this spot, so I'm right there lining up, hoping he can pull off the upset. And he looks like he missed weight. He's gonna have a couple extra pounds to
Yeah.
work with coming in here.
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion, but if I had to bet it, I think I would lean the dog as well. But it's always tough when they miss weight. I mean, we'll get to the
It's true.
Neal fight a little bit later. One of our most respected bettors was on that fight, and man, I just kind of am uncertain what to do when somebody misses weight like that. It's like, are they hurt? Like, what's going on? Like, how do you miss weight so bad? But yeah,
Tell me
it's part of
about
the
it.
sport.
Yeah, man. We'll talk about that one in just a couple minutes. Everybody, if you're jumping in on the show, first off, thank you so much for joining us here on the Sharp Action Report. This is my guy Andrew from Superbook Sports. If you're in Vegas, make sure you stop on by, play some action over there, check it out, and give them a follow. Give us a like button while you're down here. Next up, we got Ian Machado Gary taking on Song Kenon. And I mean, this has just got to be Gary all day, man. This
Yeah.
line opened up what, like minus 500, and he's minus
Yeah.
750 now.
Yeah, I mean, with some of these favorites, like we talked about before, it's like you almost can't open them high enough. You know the number's just going to keep going in that direction, and the parlay money just adds up as the week goes on. And right now, yeah, I mean, we're going to need one of these big underdogs to hit in at one of these fights because of all the parlay action. One interesting bet that I saw was we took a big bet on the over in this fight, which
Okay.
I think is an interesting bet because I think as a $7 favorite, you kind of think this guy's going to get him out of here pretty quickly. So I mean that makes me feel confident that maybe Song has a good chance to make it a competitive fight, maybe. So yeah, that's where we're sitting here. We could definitely use one of these big favorites to lose. Definitely.
I hear you. I'll be honest though with you, man. I don't think it's going to be this one. This
Yeah.
seems like a pretty cut and dry fight for Gary to go ahead and get his hand raised. I'm not sure Song Kanon is the parlay buster this week, but I know that's what you guys are looking for. I don't mind that overlook. I'll be completely honest. He seems to be kind of a measured pace type of guy. So I could see that over 1.5 getting there. It's sitting at minus 120 right about now for anybody
Yeah.
interested in that number. Moving right along, Julian Marquez taking on Andre Barrio. This has been a bit of a tug of war fight, man. I've seen this number bounce around quite a little bit. I actually took a bad number on this fight, and that frustrates me when I do that. So would love to hear what's been going on your side of things and what's been pushing that number up and down.
Who are you on? What side do you like?
I took the Marc-Andre side, and when I
Okay.
did the show, he was a minus 140 favorite on Monday, and I just was kind of worn out from doing the podcast, went to bed, got up the next morning, and he was minus 155 already. So I went,
Had to
dang it,
feel
I
good.
should have pulled the trigger earlier, and I jumped in, and he's about minus 150 now. So it went back the other way. I missed the good number either way you dice it, and I'm not liking my spot. I still think he wins, but I'm not a fan
Yeah.
of the price tag that I got.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. We opened at 130. I saw some sharp action early in the week on Burial, and I kind of thought the price was going to keep going that direction. But there's been some resistance, and there's been some bettors coming in on Julian Marquez, and there's good two-way action. But I'd say the sharper of the two was on Marc-Andre early. So that's the side I lean, and that's right now. That's the side the book is needing as well.
Good deal. Yeah, I definitely am on the Marc-Andre Barrios side. I wish I'd gotten that better number right when it opened up. I mean, offshore, he opened up at plus money for God knows what reason. I think he's the deserved favorite here in this spot. But I don't like that it tipped back the other way just a little bit on me. That always makes me nervous.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of thought it was going to keep steaming that way, and yeah, it's hit a hole. And there's been interest in Marquez, so I think right now we're sitting at a pretty good number, and we'll see if anything comes in late. But yeah, that's where we're sitting right now here.
Okay, fair enough. Back to the ladies, man. We've got Viviane Araújo taking on Amanda Hebos. Minus 120 is for Amanda Hebos, plus 100 even money for Vivi. And this line doesn't seem to have moved a whole lot.
Yeah, so we opened this one at 30 on Hebus, and it's sitting 20 now in Vegas. There's been decent two-way action. I would say there's not um, anything overly notable so far, but I've seen action on both sides, so I wouldn't be shocked either way. I think if you took a shot on the dog, it's probably not a bad idea in this situation. Not much, a little bit of money on the over as well, but not too much on the total.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, man, I like the dog on this one. I did make a play on Vivi myself. I just think Amanda Hebos is in the wrong weight class. You know what I mean? I think she's more effective down at 115, and even though Vivi's a little bit older, I'll side with the strength and the power wrestling, and think that she can do enough to go ahead and get a win here. We'll see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, she had a tough outing in her last one, right?
She did. It was a little bit tough, but again, it's
a good bounce
Alexa
back
Grasso
spot.
is fighting for the title. So I mean, they went 25 minutes boxing. Yeah. And Amanda Hebos is not someone who's fighting for the title at 125. I feel like it's a slight break in competition, if not, running it even. I think she's got a shot to be live here as a plus 100 underdog.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I like that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad at least you're on my side for that one. Derek Brunson and Dricus Duplessis. Man, maybe one of the fighters I just cannot quite get my head wrapped around. Derek Brunson. I zig when he zags every single time. This is a spot where I just can't quite get to this minus 230 number on Dricus, but I do think he's the one that probably gets his hand raised in the end. Have you guys seen any sharp action on this one?
So what we opened this 240 on Duplessis. We're sitting 220 here in Vegas. This is probably one of the least bet fights so far on the card.
Really?
Yeah, which is surprising to me too. I mean, I think it's a good fight, but the line really hasn't moved from where we opened it, and there hasn't been too much action on it so far. Yeah, I don't have anything overly notable for you on this one. I think Duplessis probably gets it done, but I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Brunson put up a really good fight. So I wouldn't be shocked either way, but I don't have a strong opinion, and the book doesn't really have too much of a need either way yet.
Interesting, because from what I've been seeing online, it's been a lot of Dreykus love. I kind of expected, especially with how hot he's been in the finishes and stuff, you guys would probably have seen way more action on him than the other way.
I mean, yeah, we opened it at 240, and it's sitting 220, and as it sits now, we need Duplessis. So there's been more money
Wow.
on the dog in this spot so far. Could be different elsewhere, but the number hasn't steamed up from where we opened it. So it seems like the number is right around where I think it might close.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Moving right along, everybody. We've got Cody Garbrandt taking on Trevin Jones, a fight that I want nothing to do with, man. I feel like Cody Garbrandt's got the skill advantage absolutely everywhere, but you never know what he's going to do. If he decides to bite down and swing, that chin is a liability. And then Trevin Jones, a guy that's just barely clinging on to a UFC roster spot.
Yeah.
What do you got going on here?
So we opened this one 150 on Cody. It shot up to 175 here in Vegas. From a fan perspective, I'm hoping that Cody can get it done. I mean, it feels like the UFC is clearly trying to give him
It seems that way,
a,
doesn't it?
a layup in comparison to some of the past fights he's had. So I'd like to see him get it done, but I'm not going to lie to you and say I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him get finished. But I mean, I know Trevin Jones isn't the biggest finisher out there, so I really have no clue how this fight goes. I mean, it's an interesting one, but I haven't touched it, and I can understand why you wouldn't want to touch this one. Yeah, I mean, same with the total. I don't know whether or not to like the over or the under. I mean, we have some more money. We have more money right now on the over.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, would anybody be shocked if this fight went under? Like,
Not
you
even
can't
a little.
be shocked. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is a fight that's a tough one.
Man, I lean to Cody and I lean to the over. You know, one of those spots where he probably like takes his time and tries to be a little bit more intelligent, make sure he gets the win, get back on track, you know, that kind of situation. But we've seen what Cody does before. He goes berserk mode like at any given moment. So yeah, this thing could be over in 60 seconds. It could just as easily go all 15 minutes. That's such a crazy fight. And
it is.
I think the action kind of supports that as well. Everybody's feeling the same way about it.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, man. Here's the big one. Not the main event, not the co-main event. Jamie Pickett taking on Bo Nickel. Is Bo Nickel the biggest favorite you guys have ever posted?
I don't know if it definitely has to be the biggest favorite on somebody's first fight in the UFC.
Yes.
I would bet on that. I don't think it would.
I can't remember somebody being up over 30-1.
Yeah. Well, we moved it up in IGT a little bit higher than what we have in Nevada. So all of our other states, the price is a little bit worse. There was a ton of action on Bo Nickel, and everyone was just laying them in these or putting them in the parlays. So we have a ton of liability on him there. But yesterday, somebody came in and bet a big bet to win $75K on Jamie Pickett in Nevada. So that was definitely an interesting one for us. And
God bless him.
We know tomorrow it's going to be a little bit different where we're going to be sitting, because I'm sure day of there's going to be everybody putting Bo Nickel in their parlay. So we'll probably still end up needing Jamie Pickett in the end of this.
That's insanity.
As a bookmaker, I think everyone in the back was pleasantly surprised to see that bet come through. But yeah, that's where we're sitting now. Not too much on the total. I mean, some money on the under, and yeah, that's how we're sitting right now.
That is real nice for you guys to have somebody, you know, help balance the books out that way for you. That is great. Have you guys contacted the UFC though? Like, I know they're sponsored by DraftKings, but you've got to be able to get the highlight up there that somebody's got that kind of a bet on Jamie Pickett. Like, that's got to get the broadcast.
We definitely need to do a little bit more pushing those kind of things. I think people are interested in hearing about those kind of things.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that that's something we should push. But
We're
yeah,
all sick
we'll
of hearing
see.
about Drake at this point, man. If you guys can, and you know what though, I doubt anybody else has that, right? Like I doubt anybody at DraftKings is getting that kind of cash down on a 12-1, 14-1 money line underdog.
Yeah,
Like you guys got to call somebody up at the UFC and see if you can get that one out there because they'll put that on blast.
definitely, definitely. Do you have anything in this fight or any opinion? I'm sure you probably just think Bo Nickel takes care of business.
Yeah, man, it's hard to do anything otherwise. I mean, you guys have the Bo Nickal sub prop all the way down to -200, and that like makes me want to throw up in my mouth just a little bit. That's the way I lean. Like you can get -120s and stuff like that out there on the sub prop. That's the move. He's not a boxer. He's
Yeah,
gonna learn real quick that he's not ready to stand up with UFC caliber guys just yet. I would think. And Jamie Pickett's actually got some pop in his hands. So, like, this isn't the guy you want to test that striking skill with. He's talking
right.
about taking him down. He's told us the script. He's going to tap him in the first round. I can't, deny Bo Nickal's own game plan. I think it's Bo by sub, and it's probably
Yeah,
early. I wouldn't be shocked if Jamie Pickett hangs in there a little longer than people are expecting. But at the same time, I do think it's inevitable at some point he's going to end up on the ground, and Bo probably finds his way to a tap.
yeah. I'm not trying to get overly excited on Bo because I mean I know it's a completely different situation. But the last time I got super bought in on a American wrestler, Ben
Mhm.
Askren coming over to the UFC, it didn't go as I thought it would go. So I'm just trying to like keep it cool, see Bo go out there and get a couple wins under his belt. But I mean I know he's obviously a lot younger and still coming into his prime. But I hope he takes care of business, and I think he should. And the book needs it as of now, but I'm sure it's going to change by tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, probably so, man. I just can't wait because I'm with you. Who's the guy? There was some dude in Bellator that had a similar wrestling pedigree that came
Oh
in
boy.
and was supposed to be this big old deal, and he got knocked out in the first
Oh
round as a
yeah,
20 to
yeah, and
1 favorite.
it was a massive favorite. Yeah.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I remember watching
So
that fight. That was
I
crazy. He got clipped.
I think Bo's the goods. I'm gonna say it. I think Bo's the goods, but at the same time, like this is a fist fight. It's not a wrestling
Yeah,
match. So
I'm with
we'll
you.
see what happens. I'm not bridge jumping at 30 to 1. I'll tell you that much.
I feel you.
All right, everybody. Moving on. Mateus Gamrot taking on Jalen Turner. A fight that I've been going back and forth on all week, man. Jalen Turner is my guy, and he's a giant underdog in this spot to a short notice opponent. Oh, talk to me, man. What do you guys got? Any good action coming in for this one?
Yeah, so we opened this one at 170 on Gamrot. It's been shooting in that direction. We got up to 220, and that's where we kind of found resistance from one of our sharper UFC betters. He bet on Turner at plus 190. So in Nevada, we're sitting 210 right now, and um, yeah, I know it's probably a little bit different in Arizona, the price. I know all I've seen is just Gamrot money. And the way it's being
Yeah.
bet really, as much as I like Gamrot, it really tempts me to bet on Turner. Just the way I've been seeing the action come in on the screens, it feels like everyone is just laying that 220, 230 comfortably. And
Hmm.
that makes me have some questions. And I think Turner is a really tough opponent, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not too sure how he'll hang on the ground, but I think Turner is a real tough out.
Man, it's so crazy to me because I expected that Turner would probably be like everybody's dog of the week. I figured he'd be getting all the public money. This is a giant number for a guy that we've seen just starching people in the
Yeah,
UFC. And I thought this number would be a whole heck of a lot shorter, but you're right. Like it's been just Turner, Turner, Turner. Everybody's fading Turner. Everybody's looking to go with Gamrot
yeah,
on this one. And I'm very tempted to just ride or die with my guy. I'm 3-0 on him. I haven't lost a bet on Jalen Turner since I started putting action on the guy, and I've never gotten this kind of a number on him. So I'm
yeah,
very tempted against a short notice opponent. So I'm glad to hear one of the sharps got there for you guys. The number's a little bit better over here in Arizona, plus 195 to the minus 230 of Mateus Gamrot. I'm very interested in this fight, man. I cannot wait to see if my guy is ready for the top 5 of the division or if he still needs a little more time to season because that's what this fight is all about for me. It's either, Jalen Turner's ready for some big names or he needs another year or two before that point.
Right. It's interesting when you see him when they were doing their face off. I mean, Turner is just so much. He is with everybody,
So
but he's
big.
so much bigger and so much longer than him. Like, it's an interesting size difference between the two of them. But yeah, Gamrot's a beast, man. I mean,
He really is.
I was wrong on him last time. I thought he had a good chance against Dariush. I thought he would probably get that one done, but I was wrong on that one. And now I get why people like Gamrot, but it's pretty unusual to see people comfortably laying 230 um, as much as they have been. So I'm a little skeptical here.
Yeah, me too. And the one thing I guess I'd be a little bit more interested in is maybe actually an under. Have you guys seen anything sharp or otherwise on the total on this one?
Right now, we need the under, so we took some
Oh,
action on the over so far, but it nothing crazy, nothing too significant.
okay. That is very interesting to me that that's the case. All right, man. Moving right along, we're getting to the good stuff, folks. We teased it just a little bit earlier. This is not the Undefeated Post weigh-in show. In fact, I will be going live after the ceremonial weigh-ins this evening to do the final wrap-up show. But your boy Jeff Neal missed by 4 pounds. He came in heavy. And if memory serves, that's the first time Jeff Neal's had a miss at all, much less coming in over by that kind of number. I'm shocked that Jeff Neal did not make weight for this fight. He's currently a plus 425 underdog. Shavkat Rakhmonov is a minus 550 favorite. And of course, he's just the next Chimaev. Like, everybody is all over Shavkat Rakhmonov every way possible here. And I was engaging the idea of a Jeff Neal bet because this feels a lot like the Chimaev Burns fight to me, man. I feel like it's a big step up. It's a big test. And regardless of whether or not he gets his hand raised at the end of it, it seems like Jeff Neal is going to be the guy that pushes Shavkat. It might be a close fight. It might go 15 minutes. It might be a decision. And in that case, plus 400 seems like a stupid number to me. But I don't know what to make of this weight miss situation. Chris in the chat saying that Jeff has missed weight before. I guess I am incorrect in that. And Chris, if you could follow up, remind me the fight that he missed weight, because I don't remember that one taking place. But at any rate, him missing by 4 pounds is not a small miss. He was never close. It wasn't even an option for him to continue. So that's the thing that's concerning to me. Did he phone it in? Is he sick? What's the reason for such a drastic weight miss here? And how does that affect your guys' perception as far as the line goes?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because our sharpest UFC bettor came in and he bet Neal at plus 425 earlier this week. And we've definitely been booking this fight to need Neal. But today with that weight miss, that definitely brings some concern to the guys in the back. And I mean, like you said, we know as much as anybody else. Like, is he sick? Is he hurt? Did he just give up on the weight cut because he knew he couldn't make it? I mean, there's a lot of different factors, but it definitely, as a bettor, has to make you worried about betting that side. But also at the same time, maybe he just couldn't make the weight and he's going to be bigger in the cage. But yeah, I don't really know too much about that. But yeah, right now we need Shavkat by a little. We've been writing some Jeff Neal money, and we've been raising the price kind of back up. We opened this one at $5, and we're sitting $5. It's kind of bounced around a little bit, and then today it's been shooting back up in the Shavkat direction.
Okay, man. The sharpest bettor that Superbook has for mixed martial arts is on Jeff Neal, and that's something that I have learned and grown to respect in a major way. But that was before this weight miss. That's a big question mark for me. I am not sure what to do with that in this spot. I want to see how these guys look at the ceremonial face-offs. Obviously, Neal looked very downtrodden, dejected. I'm curious if his overall attitude changes at the face-offs. One thing I'm a little nervous with is Jeff Neal has been known to kind of quit on himself just a bit. And if he's coming in losing that mental battle just ever so slightly because of something like a weight miss, it really makes me want to stay away from him, because if he's already, down on himself headed into the cage, You got to wonder if he's going to phone it in halfway through the fight if he's not having his way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, and this guy is not someone you want to have a down outing against, right? I mean,
Oh,
he's incredible. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, right now this is one that I'd say I was in heavy on, but I might need to bet some the other way to kind of equal it out. We'll see what happens during the weigh-ins, and yeah, it's still going to be a fun fight. I mean, we really have no clue until they get in there. So
Yeah, very true. Very true. All right, folks, we're hitting the co-main and the main event. If you haven't already, smack that like button for us. We've got over 100 live viewers here for the Sharp Action Report. This is powered by Superbook Sports, and you're watching Pub Sports Radio. Valentina Shevchenko taking on Alexa Grasso. Michael Grasso is tipping the $600 mark, man. Plus 600 on Grasso. You've got Shevchenko, who is nearing the 10-1 favorite point. And I want to bet Grasso so badly, man. I just don't know if she's got what it takes to win this fight against Valentina Shevchenko. I feel like you need to be physically imposing. I feel like you need to be able to win those wrestling exchanges. And anything that we've seen from Grasso, she's working on that ground game, but it's jiu-jitsu. She'll fall to her back. She'll play guard. Like, I feel like that's a recipe for getting taken down and getting beat when it comes to the grappling. I do think if she crowds the kicker and she can get in close, she can use that technical boxing. And it's not like she's a fish out of water on the feet. I actually think she'll be very competitive striking. It's just the matter of I feel like Valentina's got that trump card of the wrestling in her back pocket to get her the win here in this spot. So again, similar to the Neal spot, I was very tempted to pull the trigger on a big dog here in Grasso. I may pump the brakes just a little bit. Maybe I'll wait and see how she does in the first couple rounds and jump in live or something like that. But I got to think Val is the rightful favorite here in this spot. What do you guys see as far as action goes?
yeah, this one, I mean, it's similar to the last few big favorites we've kind of talked about. We opened this one at $6. Now we're sitting $9.50 here in Vegas on Shevchenko. So I mean, it's one you just can't open high enough. You know where the money's coming. You know that we're gonna need one of the dogs, and that parlay money is just adds up as the fights go up. So I mean, right now, I'm not going to be shocked if this one closes even higher than it is right now. We've booked this from a booking perspective. We've tried to write money on Grasso because we just know how our clientele is going to bet this fight. And there's not really much you can do when there's a $10 favorite, you know, like there's only so much you can do. You got to hope somebody is willing to come bet the Jamie Pickett's of the world, or, I mean, not that I'm disrespecting Grasso, but it's just a tough out. I mean, I hope she can get it done. That would be great for us. But yeah, that's where we're sitting right now.
Okay. Yeah, man, those 3 and 4 leg parlays getting that 10-1 weaseled in there. You got to be big fans of Alexa Grasso come Saturday.
Yeah, and she's tough, but it's just like when it gets to the ground, like you said, how is she going to be able to hang with Valentina? And Valentina she always seems confident, but she seems like she knows a little something about how this matchup's going to go. And yeah, I know from the guys in the back as well, it's just like, let's stay on the higher side of the market. Let's try to write some money on Grasso. Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do. Nothing too significant on the total on this one either.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned the total. Thank you very much for hitting that checkpoint. And yeah, man, Val has been going full on boogie woman here in this fight, talking about I know your fears and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to watch this fight play out and see what they decide to do in there. Main event time, folks. John Jones taking on Cyril Gane. And Andrew and I booted up this stream, and we were waiting for go time, and we talked for about a good 10 minutes before the show even started about this fight. We could go for an hour on the main event here. This fight is absolutely nuts, man. John Jones, he opens up offshore at like plus 130. He opens up stateside as a slight underdog or even money, and now he's sitting as a minus 170 favorite. I don't need to be behind the desk to know that the money has come in on John Jones in this spot. But what have you seen, or what else have you seen maybe that we need to know about?
Yeah, I definitely wonder if we would have opened it a little bit higher, if the same thing would have happened. Like, no matter what, it's John Jones. People are going to bet John Jones. But clearly we were a little off. We opened Gane minus 130, and that got shoved in our face. And John Jones is now sitting minus 180 here in Nevada. We've done a good job trying to write some money back on Gane, and there's been great two-way handle in this fight. But ultimately, like I've said, I hate to keep hammering the same nail, but we're going to need one of the dogs, and all the parlays are going to end with John Jones. A lot of parlays are going to end with John Jones. So we're just trying to manage the risk and get ready for that situation. And I mean, you see it. I mean, I'm sure you've been seeing it on Twitter. Everyone is just firing on Jones, and it's kind of what I think has pushed the price. There was some sharp money early on Jones. I would say it's probably because they expected the line to keep moving in that direction, so they were getting the value early. But yeah, I know at the end of this, right now we need Jones, but at the end of this, we're going to need Gane, and it's pretty simple from a booking perspective. But we did take a big bet on the over as well, which was interesting to me. So
okay. Over is 4.5, sitting minus 150 right now. That is very intriguing. And yeah, man, it's just Jones all day, hand over fist. That's all I see online. So I'm going to be watching this fight very, very closely from the sideline. I'm not betting this main event. Folks, that is the Sharp Action Report. My guy Andrew just gave you all the information we've got from the other side of the counter at Superbook Sports. Do us a favor, show some support, hit the like button, give our guys a follow over on Twitter. The ceremonial weigh-ins are in about an hour and a half. And of course, I'll be coming live to you all for the Undefeated Post weigh-in show after we see how these guys size up with each other for the ceremonial face-offs. Thank you all again for the support. Andrew, my friend, the floor is yours. If there's anything going on over at Superbook or any events or, I don't know, shows that you may have done recently that you want to shout out, now's a good time.
Yeah, we have our boosts that we're going to throw up. I tell you guys every week, we throw up those boosts for the UFC fights. We'll get some of those up before the fights. And, yeah, follow me on Twitter if you haven't. I try to put out our early potential fights on my Twitter and try to post as much as I can. But yeah, I'm excited for this fight card, and I'm always thankful for you having me on. And it's super fun doing these things, man.
Yeah, man, it's always a good time. Thank you again for sharing the knowledge and the information. We appreciate you. Everybody, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, somewhere in that ballpark after the ceremonial weigh-ins are over. Good luck on all your action this weekend, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.